Mathematics Class 8th, Chapter 3rd, Understanding Quadrilaterals. Question number 3rd. Can a quadrilateral ABCD be a parallelogram if? So we are given three conditions, 1, 2 and 3, and we need to find if these conditions are given to us, are we able to construct a quadrilateral whose name is given to us as ABCD? Well, we have learned from previous standard that while naming quadrilaterals or any geometrical figure, we need to follow some conventions. So when we say ABCD, for an instance, here we have drawn our first figure. So when we will name it in either anti-clockwise direction or clockwise direction. We chose to draw it in anti-clockwise in all of these cases. The important point to note over here is this: you cannot name it as like this, A, B, C, D. That is, you cannot draw randomly. We have to either follow anti-clockwise or clockwise while we name our geometrical figures. With this idea, let's consider first case. So we are given, if we have a quadrilateral named as ABCD and angle D and angle B will be equal to 180 degrees, we need to find, are we able to construct a quadrilateral? So here we took an example of a square where each internal angle is equal to 90 degrees and we named it in anti-clockwise manner. So A, B, C and D are its four vertices. Now it says angle D plus angle B should be equal to 180 degrees. Here we have 90 and angle B is 90. And we know very well that square is a parallelogram because opposite sides are equal to each other and opposite angles are also equal to each other. Also, if you consider another figure that we have represented here, we named it ABCD, again anti-clockwise. Here again, angle B and angle D are different. That is 105 degrees and 75 degrees for B and D respectively. When we add them up, 105 plus 75 degrees give us 180 degrees. Again, we get 180 degrees. But if we observe here, it is not a parallelogram because opposite angles are not equal to each other. Therefore, if we are given with the condition that angle D and angle B, that is opposite angles, sum is equal to 180 degrees, then there is a possibility that it can be a quadrilateral and there can be a possibility that it cannot be a quadrilateral. Therefore, we wrote for the first part, it can be but need not to be. That is, if the sum of opposite angles is equal to 180 degrees, then it need not to be quadrilateral every time. With this, our first part has been solved. Now let's move to second condition. Here AB and DC is equal to 8 cm and AD is equal to 4 cm and BC equals to 4.4 cm. So whenever you see such a statement, initially you get confused. So do not get confused. Just try to construct it first of all, because we have this idea that we have to follow some pattern. In this case, we are following anti-clockwise pattern. So we constructed a parallelogram looking figure and we named it A, B, C and D, where AB and DC measures 8 cm. Till now, it appears that it will be a parallelogram. Moving on, AD equal to 4 cm. This is 4 cm and BC equals to 4.4 cm. Now here is the difference. One thing is okay, that these pairs of opposite sides are equal to each other. That is 8 cm and 8 cm. But only this condition doesn't make this quadrilateral as a parallelogram. We need to have both opposite sides equal to each other. Clearly it is given in our question that AD and BC are not equal to each other. Therefore, we can write no. And the reason being, in a parallelogram, opposite sides are always equal. But here, AD is not equal to BC. That is clearly provided to us in this question itself. With this, if this condition is given to us, we will not be able to create or draw a quadrilateral ABCD. In the third part, we are given angle A equals to 70 degrees and angle C equals to 65 degrees. Again, we just first try to construct with the idea that how much is 70 degrees and 65 degrees, and we constructed this figure. We named it in order. Important point is you have to name it in order. So A, B, C, D anti-clockwise. Now angle A is 70 degrees that we have represented, and angle C equals to 65 degrees. Now with this information, are we able to construct a parallelogram? Well, in our first statement, it is not a parallelogram because A and C are opposite angles and they are not equal. Therefore, no. And the reason being, in a parallelogram, opposite angles are equal, but here angle A is not equal to angle C. There is a difference of 5 degrees in both these angles. Similarly, D and B are also not equal, but we need not to watch it because in our given angles itself, they are not equal to each other. So you see how easily we can find whether we are able to construct a parallelogram named as ABCD just following its properties and checking in our drawing. With this, third part of question number 3 has been solved. Question number 4. Draw a rough figure of a quadrilateral that is not a parallelogram but has exactly two opposite angles of equal measure. Well, if you have studied this exercise carefully, then you know that a kite is an example which has exactly two opposite angles of equal measure, plus it is not a parallelogram. So what is a kite exactly? A kite is a quadrilateral because it has 4 sides. That is, it is made up of 4 line segments. In kite, opposite angles are equal to each other. For an instance, here we have a kite. This angle is approximately equal to 93.5 degrees. Again, this angle is equal to 93.5 degrees approximately, which are equal to each other. Also, in a kite, alternate sides are equal to each other. Here you can see 37.44 centimeter is the measure of this line segment. Again, 37.44 centimeter is the measure of this line segment. Here again, of this common vertex, we have 2 line segments that are alternate to each other. Their measurement is equal, as you can see in this demonstration, and it fulfills our condition that a figure must have exactly 2 opposite angles. So here we have 2 opposite angles. These angles are not equal to each other. It is a kite, and that is our example that suits our desired problem. And it is not a parallelogram because one of the opposite angle is not equal to each other. Similarly, opposite sides are also not equal to each other. Also, another figure that support this statement is this one. Here opposite angles are equal to each other, in this case 90 degrees. That is exactly 2 opposite angles, that is this one and this one, that make a pair, not the other pair. And again, it is not a parallelogram because opposite sides are not equal to each other. Similarly, one of the opposite angle is not equal to each other. Although it is not a kite because alternate line segments of a common vertex are not equal to each other. So a kite is one of the example. Again, we have this particular quadrilateral which is not a parallelogram and also not a kite. With this, our question number 4 of exercise 3.3, chapter 3, Understanding Quadrilaterals, Mathematics class 8th has been solved.